cut.
Hi, hello everyone, this is Isabel. Welcome to my channel. So what we were going to be discussing right now is a very important fact for an individual who wanted to lead or to be a successful leader someday. But before we proceed, if you are just new to my channel, please do not forget to subscribe and of course click and ring the bell for you to keep on updated with different videos, and don't forget to like. Alright, well, wherever you are in this world, guys, whether you are managing a certain group or a powerful company, you always need to have, or you always need to possess this kind of attitude. That is the so-called leadership. Whether you are just managing a simple group or you are actually managing your own team, so you always have to carry this one right within yourself. So let's talk about what are the 7 traits that a good leader should possess. So number 1, a good leader should always possess this one of the best traits of a good leader, that is, knows how to radiate a positive energy. Guys, I want you to understand that there is nothing more powerful than sharing a positive good vibes towards your team members. If you have this kind of passion to succeed, then you should be able to implement or to share it with your team members. It's not because a good leader will be likable, it's because that will boost their morale. Based from this study, guys, that having a good morale resulting to a good productivity. So I actually used to encounter this kind of scenario wherein in social media, I open once my social media account wherein I read a lot of negative things that a lot of people been posting. And what came to my mind is that this is something that they should not do. Or if there is someone who understand more or which is more positive person, you could go, I actually make some comments, reactions about the positive things that this person did rather than focusing on the negative part. Because being on a positive part, guys, and sharing those good vibes, that might change the perspective of that person. So that is actually one of the 7 traits for you to be a successful leader. You should know how to radiate a positive energy. Number 2, a good leader should possess or have a proactive attitude. Guys, when something goes wrong, it's very easy for us to blame someone and focus on the mistakes that that person did. Rather, a good leader should always focus on solving that problem by giving, some reasons on how they would be able to solve and help that person. Remember that no matter how many good things you did in your life, one single mistake could result to nothing. So, being proactive in so many ways that could also help and of course, make a strong team. So for an instance, there is like some issue about the management or within the team members. Why don't you just go ahead and ask some questions what happened? Because I remember when I used to work, guys, during my college life, when I was like working as a working student in a fast food chain, it is always like our vision that in a certain fast food chain, guys, it's kind of crowded. There's a lot of people, right? And you do not, not that at all times that you are in a good conditions, you are in the proper minds, because we do experience and encounter a lot of problems along our way. And during my time when I was working in a fast food, I've been like dealing on a counter and dealing with customers, and I cannot perform if I'm not in the right mind. I cannot perform every task that was given to me. Like for example, I'm actually taking orders with the clients. Sometimes I've been like messing, putting some products, you know, with what they purchase. And what we do, or what I do personally, is every time that I do have like complaint from different customers, I always have to listen to their concern first. And when I listen, I ask an apology for that. And once everything is okay, then I have to satisfy their complaint. Because I believe that there is nothing wrong of listening rather than talking. Because by listening, guys, you would be able to hear all their grievances or their issues towards you. So at least you would be able to make some changes, or you can be able to comply to their problems. So again, number 2, you need to have a proactive attitude. Number 3, a good leader should know how to delegate tasks completely. For example, guys, like in our company, since I am the operations manager, we do have like different positions that we have with the employees. We do have the agents, the IT department, the sales floor that compose of agents, team leaders, and we also do have the support, which is composed of the HR admin, the confirmations manager, and we also do have the one for the back end. And how to delegate tasks completely with your people. I actually, what I am doing is, other than managing the centers, I also do confirmation. Confirmation because I know to myself that it is my best and highest use. Instead of me getting another employee that I need to put in that position, I just have to do it by myself since I'm not doing anything whenever I'm in the office. So at least I can maximize and utilize the skills that I have as well. It's not I don't trust my people. It is because I wanted to be of great help to everyone. How would I be able them to achieve and get their certain numbers? Now, we do have the team leader who've been like doing closing deals. We have the agents who've been like calling and turning turnover with the team leader. And for every appointments that they close, they should be passed or forward to the confirmations for them to make sure that they are getting the right commitment. So instead of me getting another confirmation, I just have to do it by myself. So at least I would be able to, as I said, help them to get their numbers, achieve their goals on a day-to-day basis, and at least I also help them to take another hard part of our job, that is getting commitment with the clients. What else? Delegating tasks completely. Let's say an example, like in a fast food, right? So you being a manager or being a leader in a certain fast food chain, you just don't have to stand there and make some instructions, asking your people to do this, to do that, blah, blah, blah. Rather, if you are not busy, then why don't you probably you can just go ahead and take some orders. You could actually help your crew members to punch the items purchased by the clients. So maximize whatever time that you have that you can actually be able to help with your people. And that way they would appreciate everything that you've been doing to them. And that's actually comprise you to be a good leader. So number 4, a good leader should be approachable. Guys, in a certain company where people do have their own delegates of tasks and work that they need to finish on a day-to-day basis, you will never take it out from them that they might be encountering some personal problem or probably a problem within the team members. And if they wanted to talk to you, please have sometimes to lend your ears to listen to them and let them speak up. Always remember that a non-productive work environment is one whose employees are not allowed to speak up or have this fear of losing their jobs. In my case, guys, whenever that I do have people who do have questions, even the smallest positions that we have, they can always talk to me. I always believe, guys, that's the best way for you to come out with the best solutions in any problems that you might be encountering is you have this capability of listening to your people. So at least you would be hearing different views, opinions from them where you can actually go ahead and collaborate everything for you to come out with the best decisions or ideas. As I always kept on telling to myself, I do not know myself personally other than my name. So I always have to make sure that if I do have problems or I do need to make some major decisions, I need to ask the people surrounds me so I would be able to come out with the best decisions. So at least I would be able to, commit mistakes, perhaps. But, no one is perfect anyways, right? So you just have to have time to listen and be approachable with your people. Another important role or another trait of a successful leader is that they do what they expect to others. Now, if you are actually a leader and you are expecting a better result or a great result with your people, then you always have to make sure that you follow what you are instructing to them. So I always believe, guys, that for you to be a good leader is you always need to be a good follower. I remember way back when I was working in a fast food chain, I actually do have 2 managers on duty. That's Manager A and Manager B. Manager A really knows how to handle everything. She's very good in giving instructions with the crew members, while Manager B doesn't even know how to instruct us with what to do on a day-to-day basis. But you know what, guys? This Manager A always eating the whole day, the whole hours in the restaurants on the phone. Always have someone always talking with somebody on the phone. And this Manager B, not because he's not good in giving instructions, but he just kept on doing things, helping crew members. It could be in dining, kitchen, doing a lot of things. And that's actually what gained our respect. Guys, always remember that a great leader should always an example with a good result. Because if you are setting up a good example to your people, that will gain the respect to the entire people or team that you are managing. So that's another trait that a good leader should possess. They do what they expect of others. Number 6, a good leader should be accountable. Accountable in the sense of finding, giving the next step to make things right. Accountable in so many things. Like, for example, a certain team failed to hit their goal. You don't need to blame them. Rather, blame yourself. What did you do? Why they did not hit their goals? It may be because you did not do your job as a leader towards them. So you don't need to blame others. Always blame yourself with failure. But for any success, you always have to give the credit to them. Always remember that you are just leading them and they are the one doing what you are instructing to them. But of course, I believe that it's like a give and take relationship, but still you always have to act like the captain of the ship. That no matter what happened, you always have to blame yourself with whatever failure that you guys might be achieving at the end of the month. So always be accountable. Lastly and final traits of a good leader should possess should be decisive. Guys, as a leader, there's always this kind of expectations that you always have to make drastic decisions, especially in times of difficulties. So you always have to make sure that you are actually having, this kind of this kind of decisions that you need to implement always in favor of your people. Always remember this, that the job of a leader or a good leader is not always making the right decisions, rather making a decision alone. For example, guys, you actually have like a troop of people that is ready to fight for a battle. As I always keep on saying, you always have to make sure that when you go in a certain battle, you should always be bulletproof. You should always know the weakness of your enemy. So at least you have this kind of advantage how you would be able to win that battle. Do not ever go in a certain battle of not having anything that you can actually fight within yourself. So for example, you are actually going to work on a day-to-day basis. You always have to make sure that you always have to review everything that you have. You need to have this kind of product knowledge. So at least when you sit on the phone, you talk to different customers, you do know what are the process and how you'll be able to explain to them and answer their queries and concerns. Because if you have that kind of attitude, definitely you would be able to win and put them in a box. I hope you guys learn a lot from this one and you can go ahead and apply it to yourself. And trust me, if you have this kind of 7 traits of a good leader within yourself, you will be successful.